Right now I want to show you how to go ahead and create your own plastic template, so to speak, if you do not have one with your machine. Sometimes, you know, this may be because maybe it didn't come with your machine. Maybe this plastic template grid got lost. That can oftentimes happen, and maybe it broke. And so you're wondering, well, how can I do this next step of centering my embroidery design file without having the plastic template grid? Well, no problem. I'm going to show you a really quick and easy way to do this. Now, the first solution to this would be if you have the ability to find one of these for an individual sale, then certainly check with your favorite quilt shop and see if they've got one. This is going to be the absolute most accurate way of finding the center of your hoop. But if that's not an option for you, no problem, because I'm going to show you an easy way to create your own template grid with some things that you probably already have at home. The first thing is I used this light mesh cutaway stabilizer. Now, the reason why I used this mesh is because it's semi-transparent. So I'm going to be able to stitch out what we call our crosshairs file directly onto this mesh, and that's going to help me be able to see through to my fabric much like you would with a plastic template grid. Let me show you what I'm talking about. The first thing I did with this hoop in particular is to hoop this, just a piece of, again, this lightweight cut mesh cutaway. And once I've hooped that, then I can stitch out what we would call the crosshairs file. Now, this crosshair file is available to you. It's actually on your USB itself. If you can't find it, you can also download it for free at Kimberbell. But all of these crosshairs files have been digitized to find the exact center of your embroidery hoop, no matter what embroidery file format you use. Okay, so know that when you download it, it will stitch exactly centered in your particular hoop. Now, when you go to hoop the stabilizer, there's another thing I want to be certain that you check. You'll notice on your hoops, no matter what machine type you have, you're going to have some little arrows that are going to match up. You're going to find these arrows both on the inner hoop ring as well as the outer hoop ring. So right here, I see my arrows. In this case, it's at the top, and I want to make sure that when I go to hoop that stabilizer, those arrows are matching. This really does make a difference. If I were to not look at those arrows and turned this upside down, it may seem like it fits in the hoop, and you think, well, no problem, I found the center. This will help me find the center. And in reality, it just doesn't. This is made for those two arrows to match up, and then you'll know that this is going to be aligned correctly. It can actually throw off the center of your hoop, of your design, even by close to an inch or more. So be careful of that. Now again, you're going to hoop your stabilizer just like so, and then stitch out your crosshairs like that. All right, now I've done that here. Here's a few different other brands just to show you that you can do the same thing. This here, I've got a Janome hoop that we did the same thing. Again, it doesn't matter what size of hoop it is. It could be the very smallest to the very largest, but if you don't have those plastic grids already, this is a great way to get by without them. And then here I have a FOF hoop, okay? A FAF or a FOF, there we go. Once you've hooped the stabilizer, you've stitched out your crosshairs, now I just want you to take just a regular writing pen. It doesn't have to be any special marker or anything. And you're going to draw an outline of just the inside of your hoop. Okay. Go around any notches that are there, just the inside, okay? In fact, I also want to write the word top. So I'm going to find where the top of my hoop is, and I'm going to write the word top, and therefore I know, whoop, that's the top of my hoop, right? Okay, now I can pop this out of the hoop. I've got my outline around it, and I'm just going to simply cut on top of that outline. Even the little notches, if there's some of those, you just cut around it. Okay, just directly on top of that line till the whole thing's cut out. Now, I'm gonna set this one aside because I've already done one here. This is for a baby lock or a brother hoop, but they all work the same. As you can see here, I've have my crosshairs, I cut around it, and I wrote the word top right there. All right, so now when it's time to hoop this quilt, it's gonna be really easy to do. Let's take a look at one of these crosshairs. Okay. And I'm going to just choose this one here, as you can see. And because this is, you know, semi-transparent, you can see through it, it'll be really easy for me to just match my crosshairs there to my crosshairs on the quilt. All right. Now at this point, I may even want to take a couple of pieces of tape. I'm actually going to use a double-sided sticky tape. You can use paper tape or whatever, but I'm just going to place that there just so that doesn't shift. Okay. And as you can see right there, that grid, those crosshairs that I stitched onto the stabilizer matches the crosshairs that I marked on my quilt. Okay. Now I can take my inner hoop right here, pop that out, and I'm also going to place a couple pieces of the double-sided sticky tape just on the outer rim, the back side of the outer rim. Okay. Just going to place a couple of pieces here so you get the idea. Okay. And you know, that tape, it's going to remain tacky for a while, so you don't have to do that every single time you put this together. Now I'm just going to place that and just frame my stabilizer. Again, there's my stabilizer. Just going to place that directly on top so it all fits in there. Because I had that double-sided sticky tape on the back of my hoop, look at that. Okay. When I go to lift this up and I place my outer ring underneath, it's going to be really simple. This is not going to move, and I'm going to be able to hoop this exactly where it needs to go, and then I can remove my plastic template, right, which is in this case my stabilizer template, and I still have the center. Okay, so again, when you go to hoop or place the sticky back or this double-sided sticky tape on the back of your hoop, place it on all four sides for sure. Then just put it down there, and then it's not going to shift when you try to hoop those two together. Okay. All right, that's all you have to do. So if you don't have, you know, the plastic template grid, it's okay. No problem. Just use one of these grids, simple grids that we showed you how to make today, and you'll be good to go. Thanks. All right, here's a quick little tip for you so that when you go to hoop those layers of fabric and you're trying to get your inner ring into your outer ring that's below the fabric and you're worried that it's going to shift, well, do this before you do anything else. Take some double-sided sticky tape. This is just something that you can find in your office supply store, and place it on the back side of your inner ring. Okay, so I've already done that here along all four sides. Then I'm going to go ahead and take my plastic template grid and place that right on there. Okay, on top. Remember that bottom ring, the outer ring is going to go underneath the fabric here in just a moment. But this is the area that I want this quilting to land on. So I'm going to make sure my crosshairs here line up right on top of my crosshairs that I've marked on my quilt, just like so. And because I have that double-sided stick tape, I can just press that hoop right onto the top of my fabric. All right, I can remove this here, my template. Then I'm going to take my bottom ring, slide it under here. Oh my goodness, this is going to make it so much easier to hoop. It's not going to shift. I can just feel where that ring is, and plop it down. Tighten it up if needed, and voila, it's all centered in the hoop.